What's going on, fam? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, and I'm back with another CHH today. And this time, guys, I just want to talk to you real quick about a situation that I saw. Been really not struggling with topics, but last week was kind of crazy, and Monday was Memorial Day, so I want to kind of take some time to reflect on some stories. And I got 3 stories dropping this week: today, tomorrow, and Friday. I'm gonna review the Joey Vantes record. I'll wait for that. But here, man, we got Ruslan doing a lot of different interviews, just sparking different conversations. And I thought this was one particular conversation that he said, and Derek Minor spoke about it. He said that can CHH be able to build the gap between, the whole not contemporary, but evangelical white Christians and, the black church. And here's a little bit of what Derek Minor had to say.
I tend to think the best about people, right? Sure. I tend to believe the best about people. So I think a lot of people aren't aware and are ignorant, and that is the byproduct of their bias and their dismissiveness, right? Now, we don't know if that's the case for everybody. We don't know people's heart, right? So when we're talking about overt and covert racism, right? Like you don't even know that you're being biased, right? Absolutely. And I think we've seen that happen by some of the pushback that we talked about, right? It's just we are comparing apples to oranges. Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about police. We're talking about police brutality. They're talking about black-on-black violence. There's different things, right? Mm-hmm. So my question is, do you think that Christian hip-hop and this community can be a vehicle to bridge the gap and have these conversations with the white evangelical Christian? I know some of you guys don't even like me saying white evangelical, but it is what it is. It's a community, right? Like, can Christian hip-hop be that vehicle to bridge that gap?
I personally, and this may be a little bit of a doom and gloom, because Christians, we're supposed to be like positive, like, yeah, everything is awesome, everything is cool when you're part of a team. Like, I personally, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it can't, because God can use anything, right? But I think that there's challenges, and the challenges are, one, when you talk about racism, like, we act as though racism, the condition of that is ignorance, and it's not. People benefit from
a system.
They benefit from a system that is oppressive. They may not know they benefit from it, but the reason why the change doesn't happen is when I say, "Hey guys, you're benefiting from this system." Right. They say, "Oh, it's too much work to undo that."
That's really the pushback you're getting.
That's a pushback. Yeah, it's too much work to undo that. Like, well, what like a common thing would be, so America is a capitalistic society, right? Mm-hmm. It's capitalistic. Yeah. So how do you grow and create equity in America? It's money, because it's built off of capital. Right. So when you start talking about things like reparations, it's like, whoa. Nah, we were cool. First off, we were ignoring you, but now you want to get in our checkbook. How do we pay for that, et cetera, et cetera? Sure. It's like, well, the issue is not, it's how do you fix a system of people that's been here 400 years that have been oppressed financially. Right. The only way to fix it is to replace what they've been oppressed.
So it was basically a snippet. And if you want to watch the whole video, I suggest that you go down to the link below. Ruslan and Derek Minor had, 2 parts of the interview, and he said something that was very key. And I have to agree with him. And here's why I think that CHH cannot be the one that kind of built that gap between evangelical, predominantly white churches and, the black community or the black churches. On a micro level, CHH artists are doing an amazing job causing change. I'm out here promoting a concert I'm doing July 20th. I got a concert, and I'm out here on the streets in Greenville, South Carolina, promoting the concert. And you start to realize a few things. One, there's a lot more people than you think, and 2, there's a lot less people that, in the context of hip hop, is it's tough, man, because I feel like on the masses, hip hop is it has a big white audience. But if you look at our country is majority white. So, even if it's a small fraction of white people in this country, it's still going to be a whole lot more Caucasians who, if they gravitate towards the art form, it's still going to outweigh the urban context, of black or brown people. But typically, in its essence, hip hop is really for urban, for the urban community. And I'm out there, I'm like, dang, what I'm saying? Like, never mind me just being a Christian hip hop artist, never mind just covering Christian hip hop. It's a huge gap that a lot of people don't really understand. And I think that a lot of artists are starting to have these conversations locally, but when it comes to on a national scale, Derek Ma said this.
Can it? Yeah, it can. But I just don't see, I don't see us having the equity in the lives of the typical white evangelical to change their perspectives on race issues, especially when they benefit. Not saying every white person benefits from this system, but a lot of people benefit from it and don't even know they're benefiting.
He don't feel like CHH can build it because he don't have the weight, or he don't necessarily have the respectability that maybe the listener does with his white pastor. I think that it's difficult, man, because a lot of people for a lot of times put Christian hip hop on a pedestal of, these rappers are like almost like preachers in a sense. Their music is like a ministry. They take it that seriously. But I feel like you can't necessarily do that. And I feel like, man, it's CHH is in a crazy place, because I think in 13, Derek Ma said it himself, and I seen it, that churches wanted to diversify themselves, and so they needed the black artists to come in and kind of showcase that their church is trying to diversify in this congregation. But now you don't really hear about that no more, and there's no need for the CHH artists to go to churches and do churches. There's no need. And I think that here's what I feel like, if CHH can help, CHH has to be a bigger voice, not only in the churches, but it has to be a bigger voice in the streets, in your local streets. Okay, once you start impacting the local economy, not the local evangelical church, not the local black church or whatever, if you are hands down going to different places and making an impact there, it may not be on a big scale, but it will start to knock down these cracks. But it's a really interesting conversation to have, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Like I said before, man, this is a very when you start talking about race, it can really be a very difficult conversation. But I'm glad Ruslan is having it, to say the least. But I'm curious to see what you got to say, man. Please comment below. Let me know exactly what you think. Do you think Derek Ma is right? How do you feel about these talks that Ruslan is having? And I'm probably next week going to dive into my thoughts about Ruslan and him kind of jumping into this whole CHH, space. Not necessarily music wise, but almost like a mediator or a commentator, if you say the will. But again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, and please don't forget all three. Lucky Mary back with another CHH day. And guys, I think this is a pretty good interview. But until next time, people.